Welcome back. It is 5:14. Hope you're all having a great start to your day. Yesterday evening we had some storms, which led to some stormy looking skies over Delano. This was sent in by Priscilla McKnight. You can see the dark, low-hanging clouds just before a burst of heavy rain came through, and some of you picked up upwards of an inch. But the good news about yesterday is we didn't have any severe weather, and we didn't need it after what happened Saturday. We had a lot of power outages, a lot of trees down, but fortunately things are actually going to quiet down here through the middle of the week. Lower humidity and sunshine returns later after some morning clouds and a little bit of fog out there, and then your storm chances are going to bump back up this weekend as we enter more of an active pattern. But here's a look at things as of 5:10. We got some storms south of Scottsboro, had a little bit of rain moving through the northern end of Array and Meigs counties earlier this morning between about 4:30 and 5. That's now moving up towards Knoxville, and just about everyone's dry at this point, but we are going to have some fog for your morning commute. You'll likely run in and out of it depending on how long your morning commute is or how long that drive is. And look at that, some pretty thick fog, less than a quarter of a mile visibility in parts of Ellijay up through Blue Ridge, fog into western North Carolina and along the Cumberland Plateau. So that's going to be our main issue with your morning commute. Outside of that, things are looking pretty good. And here's that North Georgia Toyota Canyon just off of Walnut Avenue. You can see the visibility a little bit lower than usual. It's hard to see some of those lights in the distance. And that's going to be the story through about the middle of the morning. And then we're going to get the clouds breaking with some sunshine this afternoon. Temperatures pretty typical this time of the year. 62 in Blue Ridge, 66 in Athens, 64 in Altamont. As we get into your afternoon, likely to be in the mid 80s here in the valley. Low 80s to maybe even some upper 70s in some of the higher elevations. So really going to be a comfortable day, especially with that humidity dropping off as we get into the afternoon. But here's a look at your futurecast. Again, after some morning clouds and fog, we're going to get a nice burst of some sunshine. It's going to be a nice day. Can't completely rule out a sprinkle in North Georgia, but I think we're pretty much going to be dry across the board today. And then tonight, comfortable temperatures in the 60s. We'll have some clouds building by tomorrow morning, maybe a little bit of fog, but Wednesday also looking to be a very nice day. And then moving forward, I would say between now and Thursday, very low chances of rain. Then as we get into Friday and really through early next week, we're going to return to that active pattern. It's going to be pretty typical of summertime. Not going to be all day washouts, but during the afternoon and evening, we'll have a couple of those pop-up storms. So, a couple of those days, you may get 30 to 40 minutes of rain. Then we'll have some sunshine peeking back through. So not as bad as it looks, but we're certainly going to have more of an active pattern starting to unfold, which is something we've kind of gotten used to over the last couple of months. And as we take a look at that precipitation trend, favoring wetter than normal conditions really for much of the southeast as we move through the middle of June. So it isn't like we're going to revert back to a dry pattern, at least a prolonged dry pattern at any point, at least in the next couple of weeks. And here's a look at where we stand as far as rainfall this month. And last month we had record rainfall, over 12 inches. Right now, modest 1.27, nothing too crazy, but as we look at that departure, we're now running a 7-inch surplus. So again, earlier this year, we had some drought conditions and we're talking wildfires back in March. That's not been the case over the last couple of weeks. But as we take a look at your forecast for today, 85, morning fog, we'll have some sunshine coming through. And then tonight, we're going to drop back into the 60s, going to be comfortable. And looking ahead to your next 7 days here across the Tennessee Valley, things are looking good the next couple of days. It's going to be pretty warm. Of course, we'll be in the mid to upper 80s. And then moving forward as we get into your weekend, maybe cooling off a little bit, but that humidity, again, it's not going anywhere. We'll have those daily storm chances through early next week.